Hi guys, this is day 5 of my 90-day video challenge. I've got the mic today. I just want to let you know because the sound quality on the last couple of videos hasn't been very good, and the only way I can get decent sound is if I've got a microphone up to my face. So apologies if it's distracting. It's also so if I do a really good video I can do a literal mic drop. But I'm not actually going to do that because this mic was really expensive and I don't want to break it, so it would be a metaphorical mic drop if the video is good enough. I think you can tell that I'm doing better today. Today I just want to talk about therapy really quickly because I went to see my therapist today. We had a session and I always feel better after I come out of a therapy session. Therapy in general I find has really helped me over the last year or 2 years. I mean, it literally saved my life. When I was hospitalized, I mean, I was suicidal, I really was, and it was therapy that kind of got me back from the edge. In the beginning it was group therapy, and then luckily enough, one of the therapists that took our groups, luckily for me, he agreed to take me on as a client on a one-to-one basis. And yeah, I saw him for quite a while and it was really helpful. And the thing about therapy that I enjoy, well, enjoy isn't probably not the right word. The thing I get out of therapy is that it's always a really safe space. So it's a place where I can go and kind of be open and honest in a way that I just can't be in the rest of my life. And it's not because I've got like some deep dark secrets. I'm not like a secret serial killer, you know, obviously not. I wouldn't tell you on a video if I was, because that would be a bit silly. But I don't mean it in that way. I just mean it in the fact that the way I experience my life, I don't feel like I want to be as open and honest with my friends and my family and Fran, my wife, because I don't want to burden them with, you know, the negative feelings that I have, and I feel like I have to carry that on my own because they don't deserve to carry that for me. That's kind of my mindset when it comes to being open and honest 110% of the time. I think it's a problem a lot of us have, that we don't feel like we can be. I mean, I might be overstepping and generalizing here, but for me personally, therapy offers me that safe space where I can just be as open and honest as I possibly can be. The way I kind of describe it to myself is, when I'm in a deep depression, it's like everything's black. I'm just in this darkness and I don't know how to get out, and I don't know where I am, or I don't know where I'm going. I just feel lost, and therapy offers kind of like a light in that darkness, so it's kind of can lead the way almost back to safety. And yeah, that's the important thing about therapy. And the other thing I'd like to mention is, if you are experiencing, you know, mental health issues and you are looking into having therapy, just know that one thing that's very important is finding the right therapist. It's something I would definitely recommend. Is if you are going to have some therapy and you find a therapist and you have a couple of sessions and it doesn't feel right to you, it doesn't feel like you can be open and honest with that therapist, I don't think that therapist is going to be right for you going forward. I don't think you're going to get the most out of the sessions. My biggest kind of bit of advice would be, you need to have that connection with a therapist, and the only way you're going to find that connection, unfortunately, is maybe through trial and error, where you're going to have to try maybe several therapists before you find the one that kind of knows what you need, that you feel absolutely comfortable and have that connection with, and knows the kind of therapy that you need as well. Because, you know, therapy is like a minefield. There's quite a lot of them out there, and they all offer various different types of advice and help depending on what you're going through. So it's also worth looking into different types of therapy to see which one you might be best suited towards. I mean, at the moment I'm going through, I'd call it talk compassionate based therapy, where I kind of just talk about things and my therapist gently teases out little bits of information that maybe I haven't thought about myself. And things like that. But you've got other stuff like CBT based. You've got schema therapy. I went through a bit of schema therapy with a therapist. I found it really fascinating as a subject. I loved it. I really did a lot of research into schema therapy. I think I might even do a video on schema therapy because it is such a fascinating subject. Unfortunately for me, with the therapist that I was doing the schema therapy with, it didn't really work out between us, and it's that example that I mentioned earlier. If you don't have that connection and you don't feel comfortable, you need to be honest with yourself and with the therapist and just say, look, this isn't working for me, I'm going to try and find someone else. And don't be afraid to do that, because, you know, in the end of the day, it's about you, and it's about what you need. It's your needs. Just like I mentioned in a previous video, you've got to find out what you need and who's going to help you with achieving those needs. So yeah, I just wanted to say therapy works wonders for me personally. I always feel a lot lighter after I've had therapy. Obviously that's my own experience. I'm not going to like kind of generalize for everybody out there, but my advice is, if you are thinking about having therapy, make sure you find the right therapist, make sure it's someone you're comfortable with, and, you know, go into it with an open mind, because in the beginning you may not see how much it can help you, but, you know, you've got to give it time. You've got to give yourself time. So that's all I wanted to say today. Hopefully, you know, like I say, I'm going to do a video on schema therapy because I do think that's really interesting, and it might be interesting to other people. But for now, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks very much. Bye.